Everybody, thank you for your patience. Small Couch Reviews here. It is your boy Sam,
It's your boy Jovi.
and we are talking Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. We are a little late. Got the early screener thanks to the Grand Shucket yesterday, so we still get this out, I guess, technically a day before it releases wide, but has some stuff to deal with. So we're pushing this now. Anyway,
Right.
this is the I don't know if it's the final chapter in the James Gunn saga. Let's say that it's his last
Right.
before he goes over and heads up DC. I don't
Okay.
necessarily know or think it's the last Guardians of the Galaxy movie, but
I
it's
I
the
mean I think that's how I went at it.
yeah, it ends the trilogy with these characters as we heard it would.
Right.
Um, yeah, and this one, I mean, it picks up after Infinity Wars and Endgame, where obviously Gamora has died, and then a past version of herself has come back. It is now living in our present. And it follows the team as they try to save one of their own by going to battle against the High Evolutionary. Um, this franchise, bro, it's come a long way. Like I loved the first movie, and there are a lot of people who I remember when it came out, they were like, "Yo, Marvel pulls this off, they're legit." That was like golden age of Marvel for me though. So like I knew the movie was going to be good because everything they were pumping out back then was great.
Right.
And then I think we talked about it. The second one, it kind of fell off for you and for me a little bit too. And I think
Yeah.
that's probably most people. And then we get this one, which is touted as the best movie or the best Marvel movie since Endgame. It's not really saying a lot, honestly,
Wow. Right.
but
Right.
I do think it might be if you don't count the Sony Marvel thing as true Marvel, because No Way Home is clearly it's the
Oh,
best. Yeah.
yes.
So if you don't count that, this might be it. But let's say off jump, bro. I mean, as much as I love this movie, I don't think it's not the game changer the MCU needed, just in my opinion.
No, I agree. I don't think it was a game changer, but it holds that title. Um, I have not been like super pleased with what we've seen
I
since.
agree. Since Endgame.
Um,
Mhm.
yeah, and so it's this idea, and this is you and myself now, we've been doing this for a while. So when you're just with coworkers, with friends, people are like, hey, how was the movie? Or how was it? And I always have to preference, it's not in game. But I really enjoy, right? It was like, I enjoyed this film, right? I
Yeah.
have to see it though, because everyone is expecting Endgame.
Yeah, I don't think to be fair, that's unfair to put on any franchise.
Yeah, you can't do it, but that was the problem. You can't make an amazing two movies to end a whole saga and then be like, oh, well, we're gonna give you these okay films. It's a little upsetting because if you think about that whole Thanos, just everything that led up to that, not only because it was new to us, it was just done so well.
Yeah, man, it was that's the thing, and I think the quality. I mean, the VFX people will tell you they're exhausted, which it peaked out a little bit in this movie, but we'll get to that. I mean, yeah, the quality has definitely not been there. Phase four on,
Yeah, I don't even want to go further with
yeah,
that,
but yeah,
state. And
but yeah. So let's get to this movie though.
yeah,
So like I
it
said,
lived up. It lived up for me what we were used to Marvel creating.
okay, no, I mean, I think this was definitely better than the second one in my opinion. Um,
Oh yeah,
So I'm going to start with what really worked for me. Obviously, the soundtrack, James Gunn, he's a master at that. Not even going to go any further. Just really good
you could legit anybody.
soundtrack.
You could put on Volume 3 soundtrack and just vibe out for 4 hours.
Yeah, so good,
Easy.
so good. Um, then I really liked the. So here's the thing: this movie was different in a way, and I feel like I should. I don't know. There should be a disclaimer. This movie, I don't know if this is one you want to take like your 5-year-olds to, like your little kids.
I
James Gunn has, he has a horror. He's made horror movies, and you see that in here. There's some bloody stuff going on here. Some really, I'd actually even say gory, especially that scene at the end. Um, there's the language. This is the MCU's first F bomb.
And and then the way it came out, I leaned over to you. I was like, that was MCU's first F bomb, and I don't think it landed. I didn't think that right.
Right.
It was funny because it was like a that's what I love about James Gunn. That was a reaction that all of us would have had.
Right.
Right.
Exactly. We
But
all said the same thing.
yeah, but not for a Marvel movie. And like you said, I would not want my 5-year-old to hear that.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to. Yeah, and then also, if you're an animal lover, so 5-year-old or not, this movie was very hard to watch. This High Evolutionary is, and I'll get to it in a little bit. He just like it's not very nice to animals. This movie,
No,
it's
no.
so that's it. So I will say that that's a disclaimer. Having said all of that, it worked for me. Like,
Oh, oh no, it was cool. It
I
was
mean, it was
very
like, I like the violence. I like the gory aspects. I like that this movie went there. There's one scene in particular, you'll probably hear about it on every review, where they're like in a hallway and it's all of them fighting together in this hallway. It was spectacular. I think that scene was probably worth the price of admission. And it's all one cut too. So
oh
good.
no.
Yeah.
It's
Um,
I goosebumps thinking about that one.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, really, the pride of this movie, what I like most, is what I liked about all the other ones. It's the characters, bro. That's it.
Hmm?
I mean, all of them, every single one of them. Now, this movie has a lot of characters, and every single one of them, I feel, got enough time to shine. Even
Yes.
especially Mantis, who I did not think would get any time. Like, her character got developed. Drax got further developed.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, robot chick. What is her name? Oh my gosh.
Uh
Nebula.
why did I want to say Neptune?
Nebula. She had a major role. She was actually like one of the leads in like one of the team leaders.
She
And
really was.
yeah,
Yeah.
and of course,
The entire time.
yeah, of course, Chris Pratt got his screen time, and then the star of the show was Rocket. This whole movie is about Rocket Raccoon. That's it's we explore his past finally,
Yeah.
see his
I'm up.
with this high
Yeah.
evolutionary, and I gotta
Yeah.
tell you, man, it's heartbreaking, bro. It really is, and like you see a lot of flashbacks, which really work for the film. Even
Mhm.
like there are some times where Rocket's like walking, and then it goes to a flashback, so you think he's thinking about this horrible thing that happened to him. And then when they introduce the High Evolutionary, we see some flashbacks. Like we get it, and we see why he doesn't talk about it.
Yeah.
And I guess also just there's an overwhelming feeling of dread. Like if you've seen the trailers, this is James Gunn's last movie. Like you're like, bro, like someone might die in this joint. Yeah, like and the movie starts off giving you the feels. Like you're very emotional. You can see this is gonna be not a I don't even want to say a gut punch, like a heart punch. Yeah, like it's gonna hit you. And I
Yeah.
really like that it got into your emotions that way.
That's another disclaimer. And that's what we put if you see our Instagram. It says, bring the tissues because, it's the whole time you're feeling for this team.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm saying, and I'm trying not to cut you off, like I'm upset that it got leaked that this was the Rocket Raccoon movie because that's what it is. But that's fine because we didn't know his past, right? Everybody else we knew. We even Mantis, we got a whole
with Ego in the second movie.
So we know everybody else's past. And
one thing though, real quick, I don't remember them saying that she was actually his daughter in that movie. Is that something that happened?
No. So you remember the Christmas special?
Oh, okay. You know what? I haven't seen that yet, so that's probably why.
But where she tells Quill that she's
his sister.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right. Cool. All right then. I actually had that downloaded to watch on a plane ride this weekend, and then my phone died, so I couldn't even watch it. So yeah.
Oh.
Okay. Cool. But I mean, that I was trying to just go through everything I liked. The characters, the gore really worked for me. The horror aspects. And then, like I said, the soundtrack. But I'm gonna let you go, bro. Let's hear what you like before I get into what didn't work for me.
Oh well, it's like I completely agree with you. And like I said, like I was just like here. I was here for the story. And you don't really get that. I mean, we talked about it. We talked about it personally. How I really feel like getting rid of James Gunn a few years back was like a horrible idea because of he's just such a great writer. right?
Right.
And he understands comedic timing, he understands storytelling, and that's what you get with this film. No matter how you get the feels and how dark it is, it's still funny.
It's hilarious. That's something else. Yeah, you're right. You are laughing.
Yeah. Oh no. I mean, and only went in the theater just like laughing, and you were doing the same thing. It was just like there were certain things that there was comedy for everybody in here. Again, I don't know if a 5-year-old is going to necessarily laugh. I think a 5-year-old would be scared at some of the stuff.
That's what, bro. That's what I'm saying, man. Like for real, for real.
But at the end of the day, like everything you said, I have nothing to add, but the fact that I like that this was a great way to end this team's story. That's it. That's what this movie is, and he succeeded.
Yeah, it was a very, like I said, it was a very heartfelt ending. I loved it. That last little at the roll credit. I mean, there are after credit scene, obviously, so stick around. But that last, I guess, that last screenshot of them all at the end of the movie, it was great. And I love how the movie showed how they looked. You know, like the first time we saw them back in 2014, we saw them all lined up, you know, and getting their mugshots, and then we see that last panel of them all at the end. As like, it was, man, so good, so good.
No, yeah, it's, I mean, and ultimately, and it's not just me saying what I like about this. Ultimately, this was a great trilogy. The second one is just really slow. And that's, it just doesn't, the first one is an amazing film. This one was just a great ending. And then the second one is just like, cool. You explained some stuff and introduced us to some cool character, you know?
Yeah.
That's it. And I like that we were introduced to Cosmo in a more intimate, you know, different way. Like we know her as, you know, just the side character, but now she's part of the team, and she's been with them. And then Adam Warlock, like I liked his comedic timing and the idea.
He was born early, so he doesn't know too much.
You took the words out of my mouth. He was born early because of them, and so he just doesn't understand the world or the universe yet.
Yeah, man, and he's
like, you're a perfect being, but you're not. You're a baby.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And the actor who played him did him very well.
Yes.
But so that actually, I'm going to use that as a segue because I'm going to get into some things that didn't really work for me. There's nothing in this movie I really hated. Well, let me take that. There's one thing I hated. I leaned over and whispered it to you. There's a scene, it's leaked online actually, where they are, you know, you see them in their multicolored suits and they're like diving or whatever. The CGI in that scene is not good. Like there's always one in a Marvel film.
Yeah,
I'll never forget what Joe said out loud, "Oh no," during Black Panther. But I looked up, I'd never say anything. I was like, "Bro, do you see this?" And he was like,
"Yeah." It was like the interns did that scene.
Yeah,
it
like,
was not.
That. Seriously, it looked like an IG filter. It was bad. It was really bad. But then, so outside of that, things that more disappointed me. I'm gonna start with this movie. Like I said, all the main characters got their time to shine, but there are a lot of characters in this movie that I don't know. I feel like they didn't get their justice, and I feel like they were just introduced, maybe like to introduce them. It's kind of how I felt about Riri Williams in Black Panther, where it's like, I see you introduced her, but she didn't need to be in the movie. You could have devoted a whole, you know, she's getting her own show. You could have devoted everything to her.
I would have rather seen the show.
Right. That's how I felt with like Adam Warlock and James Gunn's brother, who's the new Yondu. I forget his name. Kagler? I forget his name in the movie.
I know, yeah.
But then in Cosmo, as much as I love Cosmo, it's like these characters, they do, like Adam Warlock, actually all of them, they would show up in a scene, they'd be pretty good in the scene, then they would go away. And then stuff in the movie would happen, and then they'd come back, and I'd be like, "Oh yeah, they were in this movie."
Literally, you could literally 4 times for those 3 characters.
Yeah,
see them, they disappear for 20 minutes. You see them, they disappear for 30 minutes.
Right.
You see them, they disappear, and then you see them all at the end.
Right, and so that you took the like the bro, so you get where I'm coming from. That I feel like it could have been this movie juggled too much with them.
Hmm.
Um, and honestly, I cared a lot more about the core characters, seeing as how this is probably the last time we'll see them all together. So
Right.
that kind of just that one didn't really work for me. And then the other thing, the High Evolutionary. I love the actor. He was our guy from Peacemaker, but
Yes.
he is literally, you know what I'm gonna say. He is the villain I hate the most, bro. He is. So here's the thing: there are two types of like villains. Like that, like you can be like the Joker, where you're just like you're evil, but you're funny. You're evil in a funny way. Like
Right.
he's blow. Like in the Dark Knight, he blows up a hospital while wearing a nurse's outfit, and he's just laughing the whole time he's doing it. So he's just maniacal.
Yeah.
Or you can be, your quiet, reserved evil like Thanos, where or even Kang the Conqueror. Those two I think are kind of comparable, where it's like they have a goal and
Right.
what they are doing they feel is absolutely necessary.
Right.
It's like they don't enjoy what they have to do, but they're doing it because they feel like it.
Right. Right.
You have this dude, the High Evolutionary, who is like Thanos on steroids. The dude is just needlessly cruel.
He's
Needlessly cruel, bro. He is evil for no reason. He doesn't. It's like I said, Thanos wouldn't he kills people and stuff. He's trying to kill half the universe. But you see it, he doesn't actually he's not doing because he like enjoys it. He's doing it because he sees it for like he sees there's a problem he has to fix. This
right.
dude is just like, oh, I don't like this. So yep, entire population extinct. And it's just like and then he goes about his day.
Well,
Um
he's like God didn't do what he was supposed to do. Right. Like that's his whole thing.
yeah.
Like
He's like,
he
yeah, and
did like a perfect society.
yeah.
Who?
Like, yeah, it's like, you're not just like he just doesn't let people live. Like these people had their whole lives, families, everything. He gave them a new planet, but he's like, oh, but you know what? You're not attractive enough. Experiment over. And then he just destroys the whole thing. It's like,
Right.
bro, like he again, evil for no reason is like this is him. This
Right.
is him. There's not even like a as much as I like the actor and they try to justify him by saying, "Oh, I see things I see like you said, God didn't do his job correctly, so I'm stepping in." It just again the way he was doing it, you didn't see any type of I don't know any type of sorrow or
Right.
or even like true commitment or anything like you did with a Thanos or even a Kang the Conqueror, where they're like, when Kang's talking to Janet, he's being very genuine. He's like, look, I have to do what I have to do. I have to win because the multiverse is gonna end if I don't. And
Hmm.
Thanos is like, he's talking to Gamora. He was like, I don't want to have to do what I have to do, but if I don't, the universe is gonna. He said the universe is finite. Everything is finite. We're all gonna die if I don't do what I do. This
Right.
dude is just like, well, I'm just gonna kill you because I don't like you. Like, I mean, so he was probably the biggest problem I had with the movie. Having said that, he's not the worst MCU villain there has been. It's just he wasn't a great one. That was a long way of me saying he's not a great villain. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. The overabundance of characters that really didn't do much, and High Evolutionary just those two didn't work for me in this movie. Outside of that, I think it was pretty great.
Yeah. Same. Um. Yeah. I mean, I completely agree with that one. And my only thing is, going back to what you said, I feel like Adam Warlock was introduced to be introduced.
Yeah, exactly.
Um. And I feel like that is a little his all his scenes were cool, but eh, I think it didn't change the film.
No, exactly. And you know what that hits the nail on the head. I think that's what it is. It's like if he weren't in it, would the movie have? Well, I guess movie might have been a little different, but he's not a game changing factor for the film, and he's
Right.
a major character
Right.
in
And
the
that's
comic. And I mean, he was teased in the last movie, so I mean, he's a major character. So
yeah,
I
and
just I don't know. I
that's
like
what I'm getting at. Like I know you're so much more, And I'm happy to see. I know we're gonna get more because he did a great job.
Mm-hmm.
And they're gonna write him in, but it's like, again, we're getting like you said, we're getting a Riri film. Did I need her the entire movie? Well,
Right.
I didn't. Did I need Adam Warlock in this whole thing? No. Great performances, but not necessarily needed for the story.
Absolutely agree.
And it just him being there. I mean, his mom being there. It was just like the connection between the High Evolutionary.
Mhm.
We get it. We know. We've seen him. We know what he did. We've known he's made societies.
Yeah.
So I guess for people that weren't paying attention, like you'd be like, yeah, oh, he did make Adam Warlock, or he did make that whole society, or
Yeah.
that the group of people. So I give him that. But I will say that it automatically gets a point because it is definitely rewatchable.
Yep. 100% agree. I was going to bring that up right after you finish talking. I will be rewatching this.
Yeah.
So with that, bro, what are you going to rate this train? Oh, you know what? Let me go. I'm
You
going.
know,
Oh, go ahead.
for it to be the best so far, I'm really gonna go ahead and give it a 5 for the first time in a long time.
Wow, bro.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Guardians of the Galaxy got a 5 from me. I'm gonna give it a 4. Um, that's because I talked a lot about what I didn't like, so I think in my subconscious it might be bothering me more than I think, but I'll give it a 4. So we'll combine us, and that'll give us a 4.5.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Hey,
Guardians of the Galaxy.
it's a solid 4.5.
It's a good movie. Go
Yeah.
ahead and watch it this weekend and let us know what you think. Come back here and tell us right down there. Yeah, I gotta get my hand in frame right down there in the comments. If you liked what you saw, please go ahead and click that little subscribe button and the bell. There you go. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for joining us. And until next time, we out.
Deuces.
Shout out to our friends over at the Grand Shuck It. They really do hold it down, and if you don't know who they are, you will definitely want to. So go check out their website at thegrandshuckit.com. There you will find all you will ever need in the world of anime, manga, TV shows, movies, books, comic books, video games. They have it all in one nice, simple, consolidated space. They post written reviews on all that stuff, and they have several hundred episodes of podcasts that are, quite frankly, hilarious. So go ahead, check out their website. Again, thegrandshuckit.com. And also give them a follow on Twitter. That way you will never not be in the know.